All right, folks, thanks for joining us today. We're going to have a roundtable discussion here. I'm with Ralph Bostic, our general manager, and Ken Deers, account executive, with us, and I'm Jeremy Shepard, account executive as well. We're going to talk today in this video around kind of a roundtable discussion about, what do we look for when we're switching a customer from a digital system to a hosted PBX system.
So now we've got the connection to the building, and then we have to start taking a look at the infrastructure within the building itself. As you know, voice over IP requires a data connection, whether it be Cat 5 or Cat 6, and that's what we look for to each location where there's going to be a phone.
That's right. Yeah.
The data connections themselves, the Cat 5 is an older technology. It's still plenty good. Cat 5e will carry a gigabit connection from your desk to the main switch, the main hub. I shouldn't say hub.
Not hub anymore. That's right. That's a good point.
But your Cat 6 will do that, but it will also go. The Cat 6 standard will allow you to go to the 6A, which is a little bit faster than the gig, but not much network equipment actually supports that right now. So as long as you have 5E, you're good to go. You're ready to go into a VoIP environment. Managed switches do help as well, depending on how many users you have. I think you wanted to talk about number of cables too.
I do want to talk about number of cables, and in fact, talking about the Cat 5 and Cat 6 is a good segue into that. You can have a single cable to each location, and that cable can connect to your phone, and then from the phone, a built-in switch to your desktop or your laptop. It can work that way. Work very well. But one of the things we want to talk about especially when you're considering cabling, is that you don't have to. And I know a lot of purists want to have Cat 6, and that's cool. I love it because we get to charge you to install it. However, when you take a look at Cat 5e and the fact that it is a gigabit, it's gigabit to the switch to your firewall out to the world. And most people don't have a gigabit connection to the internet. Right. Most people are going to have that 50 or 100 meg connection. So internally, if you have to do a lot of print jobs and things like that, or you're editing video, Cat 6 might be necessary. But boy, Cat 5e will work for most places.
Yeah. I've seen a few places actually have fiber to their computers.
Yeah.
That's very few and far between, but but
they're planning for the future.
They do video editing and things like that. So a lot of people will have a voice and a data cable, and most people anymore, they run a Cat 5e or Cat 6 cable, regardless if they're doing a digital phone system or a voice over IP.
Yeah, the cost is negligible now.
Yeah, if you're going to the same place, you might, if you're going to run two cables, you might as well do it. So, but in that respect, a lot of people, they want to separate their voice and data networks, so you can do that in a couple of ways with two cables, so one for voice and one for data. You can still have one cable and do it with VLANs as well, and that's virtually separating your network.
We run into that a lot with your legacy systems where they have the Cat 3 cable for the telephone. So what we would do in that environment is use the Cat 5 that's for the computer, set up a VLAN, and then actually run the two LANs off of the one cable.
Yeah, and the VLAN is just, as Jeremy said, it's using your switch, which, by the way, we recommend a power over Ethernet switch, using your switch to create two networks, two virtual networks.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. So, we want to talk a little bit about switches as well with this too. So, on our initial walkthrough, we definitely look at what switches you have today, because, usually in today's world, everybody has some sort of a switch in the back. So,
well, except for Ken, because earlier he mentioned hub.
A hub. Yeah. We don't want any hubs.
I like collisions.
So what do we look for in a data switch? So obviously we need to have a data cable where each of your phones are going to be, and that's going to need to run back to a data switch, and we're going to need you to have enough ports on your data switch. You can't have 10 phones and a 5-port switch. It just doesn't work, So we obviously have to make sure you have enough ports on that. Then PoE. Do you have a PoE switch or not? PoE is power over Ethernet. And that's going to be something that's very important because all of IP phones today require power. Mm-hmm. So they're not powered by the PBX, the traditional PBX like they used to be. So you're either going to power the phone by a switch or by a power
There's a
brick.
little power brick,
A
yeah.
power brick, right. We recommend that you have a PoE switch, for a couple different reasons. A lot of times I go out to a place and I go to look through and, they have one outlet and it's got, a bunch of different things coming off of it and surge protectors coming
With
off
one
of it.
surge protector connected to the
connect
next
it to
surge
the next.
protector.
Yeah, you're trying to find an open outlet. It's a fire hazard,
Just employees kicking them. I've seen plenty of phones that just go, they stop working. We get a service call, we go out, and then all of a sudden
It's turned off, the power surge
somebody
turned off.
kicked the plug out, and it's only out that much, but it's enough to
It's
break
enough to
contact.
break it.
Well, and if we do have a single a PoE switch, we can hook that up to a battery backup so that the phones won't go down if the power flickers.
That's
So
right.
the phones will stay up. I know it doesn't take long from the reboot for 2 or 3 minutes, but still, if you're on the call with somebody, you could say, "Hey, the lights are out, and I'm sitting here in the dark talking to you. We got another about a minute and a half to talk."
Right,
We're done."
right.
So that would be nicer than just having to disconnect.
And that gives you the ability too on that battery backup to shut your switches down safely. If you know that power is going to be out for a long time. It's just
Yeah,
not a
anybody
flicker.
with a server should have a battery backup anyway, and
I
they would
agree.
just be adding
Absolutely.
into
And the
that.
device to it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what we look for when we do a walkthrough. Of course, we ask if there's any special needs you guys might have when we come out, but that pretty much covers it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Yeah. So just to review, your internet. Let's look at that connection. Your cabling. Make sure you have Cat 5 at every location that a phone's going to go, and switches.
Yep. And maybe a power battery
a
backup.
battery backup, and then talk to any special setups for VLANs or anything that your IT admin may have set up today. So if you want more information, give us a call, Master Telecom 314-997-9000, and we can help you out and walk you through any of this and talk to you a little bit more in depth about it. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.